What's going on, everyone? My name is Machine Gun Hunt and welcome to another video. Today this is going to be a different topic, but I feel like no matter what time or what place that you see this video, it is going to apply basically as long as gaming or any sort of media exists. This is basically a argument, a rant, whatever you want to call it, as a way of pre-ordering things. So yeah, like I'm just gonna talk about, especially with new things coming on right now, especially as of this video is being made, the new release of Cyberpunk 2077. And it looks like the release of Cyberpunk is not doing that well, particularly simply because there has been some mischief, some deceitfulness, some dishonesty that has happened with Cyberpunk. And I know this game has had loads of excitement. However, this isn't the first time that this has happened. So let's just start from the beginning. First off, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my own history with pre-orders, okay? Now, back when I was a little person, which was like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago, I pre-ordered a very particular game because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And that game is called Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, some people say, oh, Star Wars Battlefront wasn't good. I personally liked the first one. It definitely entertained me a good amount of hours. It definitely made me feel like I was a soldier. I was like shooting like Star Wars guns. I was like out and about like shooting things. It was really cool. It was really fun, right? So I was really excited for Battlefront 2 because there's some stuff that's new and approved and it's like super cool and stuff like that. And I absolutely love the gameplay of Battlefront 2, but the problem is that one, it wasn't exactly a finished game because of its leveling system and how to get loot or abilities or skins or whatever. And that is obviously the big microtransaction debacle. And obviously EA has done some pretty big, big microtransaction schemes that's been on for like decades at this point right now. So, yeah, after I got Star Wars Battlefront 2, like I basically said to myself, I am never going to pre-order something unless I absolutely want it. Like, I know what I'm getting. And this is basically the big point here, okay? So, at that point, I wasn't gonna buy anything EA altogether, like not even Fall Order, not even Apex Legends. I'm not even gonna play like all the free games that they have, right? And I'm not going to pre-order anything, with the exception of one rule, that I know what I'm getting into. Okay? Now, ever since then, I've only pre-ordered 2 video games. One, Final Fantasy VII Remake, because one, I knew what I was signing up to. I was signing up to basically for the creators of Final Fantasy VII to say, hey, we have a story, we hope you like it. I'm like, okay, I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII nerd. I'm going to play your games, Square Enix, and you better do a good job. And guess what? They did a fantastic job. I love the remake. It's absolutely amazing. There's a couple of things I don't like about it. Whatever. I'm an old Final Fantasy nerd with Final Fantasy VII, but hey, you can't get everything that you want. Like basically 95% of the stuff was absolutely amazing. I love the game so much, right? And so I pre-ordered that game. The second game I pre-ordered, I guess you could say games, I would say that a majority of my pre-orders come from Destiny 2. Reason being, Bungie had bought me in since day one, okay? They say, hey, you want to become legend, you want to make your own guardian, you want to grind, get like gear, get get more powerful, get into like really crazy stuff like raids, this is the game for you. I said, okay, I'm loving this, okay? I know what I'm getting into when I'm playing this game. In fact, it's more of a dedication than like a hobby at this point, Like, I am a part of this community, me playing this game. I know what I'm getting into, so I pre-order the game anyway. I do it as one, supporting Bungie, but two, also for simply my entertainment, because I've been waiting for this type of game for a long, long, long time. Where I make my own character, I make my own, like, legend, my own destiny, and I get to play however I want to play. And I think that is absolutely amazing. Plus, back then I didn't play Red M games, it was Red T for Teen, so that was a huge bonus too. So, those were the only two things that were the exception for me for doing pre-orders, okay? What I have a huge problem with, and this is a pet peeve of mine, and this keeps happening over and over and over and over again, is that when people pre-order things, when they don't know what they're going to get, okay? We've seen this with Division, like how much of a train wreck that was. Fortunately, they recovered a lot, and it's actually a cool game right now. Look at freaking Anthem, like how much of a disaster that game is right now. Everyone thought it's going to be an awesome game because it's made by BioWare, right? Well, guess what? BioWare disappointed me before with with what is that? What is that Mass Effect game that I keep forgetting about? Andromeda, right? Mass Effect Andromeda. How much of a disappointment that was? I was expecting disappointment. I had low expectations with that, okay? And guess what? Unfortunately, I was right. Okay? We had freaking Star Wars Battlefront. I unfortunately had high expectations. Look what that got me. I lost $60 and I lost respect towards EA and basically any genre Star Wars wise with like any video games whatsoever, okay? And that's pretty sad because Star Wars is not doing that well. Especially with like, The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker and stuff like that. So yeah, like, I basically have no Star Wars to play besides freaking KOTOR, Then there is freaking recently Marvel Avengers. I'm a huge Avengers fan. Guess what? People say, "Oh, you should pre-order this." I'm like, "Nope." Learned my lesson. Guess what happened? People pre-ordered. Turns out the game wasn't that good, and not only that, there wasn't any content to play in the first place. For some odd reason, I realized that all these quote-unquote Destiny killers, when they get pre-ordered, they end up coming out worse than Destiny, which is saying a lot. Like all these games, they come out worse than the original Destiny, and heck, even Destiny 2. I think Destiny 2 actually had a good release compared to Destiny 1, but these games had worse releases than both those games. How? How is that even possible? Destiny didn't even have a good story. There were some glitches. There was some weird stuff, but they had like a solid background and great gameplay and like great activities to do in the beginning, okay? That's what got us hooked in the first place. It had great gameplay, great weapons and armor. It had great content, right? And it was just so cool, right? What made it so that we made Destiny was because of those type of things, right? Guess what? Back then, Division didn't have that. Right now, Anthem doesn't have that. Right now, Marvel Avengers doesn't have that. Right now, you have freaking PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and they have some glitches, they have some issues, etc., etc., okay? Guess what? It's okay to not pre-order something if you don't know what's happening to it. Just simply wait, see if it's good, and then you can buy it. And probably the worst example of this is Last of Us Part 2. Don't pre-order Last of Us Part 2. Just wait to see what happens. Then you could determine whether you want to buy it or not. I'm probably going to buy Last of Us Part 2 just for the craps and giggles and all that. I'll probably buy it for $10 in like the budget, section of GameStop, but that's about it. I'm not gonna go over like $15 to buy this game. Okay, it's that bad of a game. And then, of course, we have Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, listen, I'm a huge fan of CD Projekt Red. I love their work. Okay, and a friend of mine says you should pre-order this. I'm like, nope. Okay, like, I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm gonna say You know my perspective of EA and pre-orders. He says, yes, I'm very familiar with that. Okay, you know my issues with pre-orders. Okay. Overall, I'm just gonna wait, see what happens, and look what happened. Unfortunately, I was right. Cyberpunk is in like deep water right now because they weren't honest with the fans. Sure, in PC it looks great. You know, there's a couple of glitches here and there on PC, but it still looks awesome. But on consoles, even on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, it's awful. Really bad. Like, my suggestion to you right now with Cyberpunk is don't buy the game until it's like freaking February once they fix everything, okay? Not even on the PlayStation 5, none of it, okay? Like, you're better off playing Final Fantasy 7 Remake, okay? That's my suggestion to you. Also, just the biggest thing I could tell you right now is just don't pre-order, okay? It's gonna save you lots of money in the long run. So when there's a game that you actually want to buy, you have plenty enough things to get, okay? Basically, this is a rant, okay? Don't pre-order. You'll save lots of money because you won't be disappointed as much, okay? That's my advice to you. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. What's your opinion on this? Comment below. Thank you guys. God bless. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.